We talked about networking here, and we talked about our coincidence. And I think that I'm here is a coincidence, a real coincidence, because just a few months ago I got to know Jure when I was working for the Amsterdam Skills Center, and to think about the education in the Amsterdam Skills Center. Actually, normally you find me at the University Medical Center in Amsterdam as an ENT-Surgeon, multitasking, doing at the same time the teaching and the supervising our residents and our students. And working as a doctor, I think all doctors know it here, after 10 years, after 15 years maybe, you know that working as a doctor, it deepens your knowledge and your skills. But being an educator is different. It broadened my skills, and I like to being an educator. Because I found connections in networks. I became a certified filmmaker. I trained in technology for education. That it is really interesting, and it really helps me in my second core task to educate medicine. In the next minute, I would like to share with you my journey I have behind me the last maybe 6 years, and the journey who brought me today here by coincidence. In 2013, I was asked at our university, how can we go from paper to digital? How can we innovate the study material we had for our students? And different people were asked, and I wanted to do it completely different. So I didn't want to go to digital by expanding our content management system, the things you probably already know, and I don't know if you like this. It's an administration for education, but it's not creative. And I didn't suggest to make better PDFs, should help maybe. What I suggested was to transform our existing course content for the first 3 years to interactive documents to use online, to eBooks, or for the iPad to iBooks. And the next step was I wanted to share them for free. Because I was convinced this is a huge help. Technology in education, and we didn't talk about technology in education so far here. And I believe, and other people, the Horizon magazine, Technology in Education, once a year, a report already in 2013 said, it's different. It's not a computer. It's not a book. It's different. You should use it. Try it. And I got a small group of students. I was very happy to hear Carolyn. She worked with students because there's so viel power, so viel engagement in students, in medical students. When you're a doctor for 10 years, you have your routine, but students keep you fresh. And when we started the project, I thought we would restructure our content to use in mobility. But what happened was I got a team of really dedicated medical students, and we developed a teamwork, and we trained our digital skills, and we developed workflows. And we didn't write books. We designed iBooks, and we were creative, productive, and efficient. And we solved the problems of copyright in materials, and we shared it open. And what we saw was a lot of commitment of people who saw it, of students. They liked it. They actually liked it. They got a completely other user experience. And what we also saw was a lot of curiosity. And in the beginning, in 2013, we gave it a name. We called it Mobile Learning Initiative. And in between, we call it MLX, stands for Med Learn Experience. And what you see here in my group of students, and in between older students, we have iBooks designers, photographers, filmmakers. We have publisher, writers. We have even a master in law. And we have web developers. And the funny thing is, they all are doctors or medical students. And I wanted to focus, because bring your own device brings a bit technology in the universities, but bring your own device is a bit a disaster, because you can't, no IT department can't deal with all devices. So we focused on the iPad. And when in 2012, Apple gave out the iBooks Author program for free to develop iBooks, this was for us a real game changer. And I show you a little bit how the iBooks look like. You write your text, it's very easy. When you can write Word on an email, you can write an iBook. And pictures, I know a lot of people struggle to get pictures in a Word document. Here, you drag and drop, and the fun part is your own pictures. And the nice thing, the joy, is when a student comes to you and said, with my iPhone, I don't have an iPhone here, but it was a small one for, I captured my own vocal cords. I would love to share it. And I said, yeah, give it to me. I drag and drop it in the iBooks. And I was really surprised how good the quality was. It's very difficult for students, for medical students, and sometimes for me as well, to see the vocal cords with a mirror. So this was great study content. And I give you an idea, just some pictures of my colleagues proud to be in the iBooks. We try to take the people into the hospitals and into education, our microbiology lab. And we also have old anatomy, copyrights. So we bought old anatomy from 1816, and we had Photoshop. And I think these pictures are even better than 1860 when they were published. And then video. Video is very nice. Jura started talking about video. What you see is a peritonsillar abscess. And it's very common for ENT, but I think 1 of 50 students can see the incision of a peritonsillar abscess, but we will never forget it. And when you see a patient with pain in the throat and with a swelling, you remember this, and you know it's an abscess, and maybe you should deal with this. The better things in iBook are the interactivity. You can touch it, you can make notes, you can make study cards from your notes, and it's already an audiobook, so you can listen to it. And the best thing is just a few touches and swipes away. And if you have your audience, if a critical mass of your audience has iPads, you can do so much more. Learning is not a place, learning is an activity, and this is what students do. What you here see, I gave a lecture about sinus surgery, my field, and 40 students in the lecture hall, and just 5 students I could take to the operation theater. And one student had an iPad with her, and she FaceTimed to the others, to the laptop, to the beamer, and we still were connected, and I continued my education to the other 35. This was for the first 3 years of the medical study in the Netherlands. And then in 2016, the Ministry of Health in the Netherlands came and said, all the doctors, too little or no patients seen the last 5 years, have to re-register. They have to show that they are still doctors. Though my university said, yes, we could write an examination program, a school program, for these doctors to pass tests to show they are still doctors for the next 5 years. And the fun part was, my director said to the ministry, yes, we can do it. And after this, she came to me and said, do you have an idea how? So I had an idea. I expanded my group of 15 students to 30, and we asked colleagues to help us. And what we created is this, what we call now the Dutch iBooks Library of Medicine. What you see here are the 10 specialties written for the curriculum in the Netherlands. These are summaries, so it's complementary. It's not that the students should learn only from this, but I know students doing ENT with only these books, and they said, I had 90%. It's not what I wanted, but is what it is. And this iBooks library is a sort of database. You download an iBook once, and you can use it. Most of the things, 95% of the things, you can use online. Sometimes we link to a video, and then you have to be online, but it's not really necessary. And we share it for free. Remember this website, if you want to learn Dutch, medical Dutch, mlx.amsterdam, ML iBooks. where you can find everything and you can download them. What are our next steps? I think in the near future, we will formalize a bit better our connections to the university, to our university, but to other universities like here, British Columbia, because they have a very, very good anatomy department with very nice videos about neuroanatomy. You should go to it, neuroanatomy.ca. And yes, there is a gap. We have to try if we can find ways for Windows and for Android as well. But the really exciting things for me are the connections with touch surgery and connections with the Amsterdam Skills Center. This picture you have already seen, but this is what really matters for me. This is education really in a global village. When Jure came back from Sierra Leone, he had a lot of gigabytes of video with 2 cameras, and in 2 evenings we edited the video to 28 minutes. And oh, sorry, didn't see the video here. And touch surgery, we sent it to them, Jure said it, and they made a virtual animation of it. So it's not to learn how to do, but it's to learn which steps you should do. In the Amsterdam Skills Center, if you want to see the iBook Jure made, all this content, the nice pictures you have seen from Sierra Leone for him, it's in the iBook. I have it here, the very first example. At the end, what I believe is that the combination of teamwork and creativity, of digital skills and user-friendly technology is changing the way how we teach and we learn. And innovating the way how we teach and we learn is already changing how we work in our hospitals. And it will probably change much, much more. Thank you very much.